Ananta is not the game I assumed it was going to be. After almost a year of silence, it returned with some new extended gameplay trailers and a public demo that people had a chance to try at the Tokyo Game Show event. It's said to be a cross-platform, high-freedom, urban open-world RPG developed by Naked Rain Studio, and it's been announced for PlayStation 5, PC, Android, and iOS. All the gameplay from the Tokyo Game Show makes Ananta look like a mashup of multiple well-known open-world games, and that left me wondering, will all these inspirations stop the game from having an identity of its own? At first I assumed this was going to be a familiar feeling party-based RPG, where you play through a story and take part in various side activities in an urban open world, but the scope is much larger. Their goal is the creation of a massive game world that simulates life in an over-the-top anime city, shown from the perspective of multiple characters. Since the initial announcement, I've been digging for information, and with the recent reveals, there's been a lot to discover. A running theme in the developer interviews and the vision for the game is freedom. They want to create a way for people to experience situations and lifestyles that they otherwise wouldn't be able to in real life. So in this video, I'll be breaking down the game based on all of the new reveals and existing information to add some essential context to what Ananta truly is. The story in Ananta revolves around the new captain of the Anti-Chaos Directorate, or the A.C.D. for short. This organization oversees supernatural entities known as Chaos. Chaos are beings that are born from people's imaginations. It could be from their delusions, their grudges, or even kind feelings. Chaos born from happy or kind feelings live peacefully and may lead human-like lives, even working to support their families. But chaos born from grudges tend to be evil, committing robberies and causing trouble for citizens. That's when the A.C.D. has to step in. As the captain, we'll need to improve the organization's reputation while constantly scouting for individuals that possess unique talents and abilities to recruit them to the team. In past interviews, the development team have mentioned that the movie Men in Black was a key inspiration, but more recently, they've also mentioned Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen as influences from manga and anime, which is understandable as they share a similar worldview. In the previous trailers, they seem to reinforce more of the paranormal aspects of the game, but this year's reveal focuses on the unique city life experience that each character provides. Based on what's been said, the development team wants to show both sides of characters who are somewhere between superheroes and ordinary people. On one side, they want to show the characters on the front lines trying to save people as members of the A.C.D, but they also want to show them off-duty, living their own lives and working ordinary jobs, including the struggles they may face despite their abilities. Even though the captain is the main character, this is a game that can be played from multiple perspectives. As you recruit more members, you can switch to those characters to take advantage of their abilities during a mission. But when you're not involved in a particular mission, all the other characters continue living within the city and have their own life cycle and behavioral patterns. And it's been said that if you get to know them, you'll begin to figure out where to find them in the city. You can freely switch to any character to experience life from their point of view. But what's interesting is, because the characters continue living their lives when you aren't controlling them, depending on the time you switch, they might be relaxing at home, or they might be in the middle of dealing with an arrest. This helps the game feel much more like a simulation of city life than I was expecting. It's been announced that characters are unlocked directly through gameplay and not through any gacha systems. According to Famitsu, the story structure is fairly non-linear. After completing a main story chapter, you'll be able to freely live the lives of the other characters, play through their individual storylines, and explore the city. Eventually, a situation will arise that requires the support of the A.C.D, resulting in various characters coming together to team up for the next chapter of the main story. Even though we might be able to complete multiple chapters in a row, it's likely there will be entry requirements if specific characters are needed, like progressing far enough into their personal story or the captain reaching a specific level. But every character won't be automatically unlocked when progressing through the main story. Certain core characters like Taffy will be unlocked directly, but for others you'll need to meet them in the world and get to know them first before you can recruit them. It was also said that as you progress through the character's personal storyline, you may unlock additional side quests that will allow you to recruit characters closely related to them. For example, potentially recruiting Mimiko after progressing far enough into Taffy's storyline, since they seem to be friends. So there's a surprising amount of layers related to recruiting new members to the A.C.D. Since the recent reveals focused on 4 specific characters, let's explore what they can do, starting with the captain. The captain's main role is to increase the reputation of the A.C.D. and seek out other characters that they can recruit. This eventually leads to more playable characters and more ways for you to interact with the world. Based on what was shown, there seems to be a friendship system in the game. You can send characters gifts, and based on gameplay captured at TGS, you can also invite characters to hang out with you at specific venues, which seems to increase their affinity with the captain. There seems to be a limit to how often you can invite characters, as it costs 2 energy to invite someone to hang out, with a cap of 10 energy. I assume this will be a daily refresh system for increasing your affinity, but it's still too early to tell. In addition to this, the captain seems to have unique character stories that revolve around meeting and interacting with the other characters. My guess would be that these stories with the characters are gradually made available once you reach specific affinity levels with them. I'm not sure how the other characters view the captain, but at the very least, Taffy and Richie see them as strong and reliable, but also a bit mysterious. One reason is probably because of their unique ability. They can grow tendrils that they can use in combat or to quickly travel through the city by swinging and grappling on nearby buildings, in a way that's similar to the Spider-Man games. This is a convenient way to travel, and you may be wondering why you would even need cars or public transport. But since this movement system seems to be specifically for the main character, it's not something you'll be using all the time. The other characters also have unique traversal mechanics, with Richie being able to summon a police car and Taffy being able to quickly use her Segway. I assume in small spaces like tunnels and alleyways, the Segway will be a lot easier to use than swinging. And for many characters, you're also able to commandeer the cars that citizens are using, and you can use subways for fast travel. So even if one movement method seems useful, various other systems will still be viable depending on the situation. They only showed the male version of the main character in the trailer, but the Famitsu magazine and interviews made it clear that the female version of the main character will also be in the game at launch. It was also mentioned that depending on who you choose, there may be subtle differences in their dialogue and gestures, but their overall storylines will mostly be the same. Hopefully their character model will be revealed before release, so we can see what she looks like. The next character is Taffy, who is known for her impressive driving skills. She meets the captain early in the main story and joins the A.C.D. And based on what was said in the recent Famitsu interview, when the producer was thinking of creating Taffy, he had the vision of a girl who recently graduated and is experiencing work life for the first time. The result of that was Taffy, a lazy bunny girl drowning in debt who needs to pay off the loan she took out for her Segway. She joined the A.C.D. assuming it would be easy money, but she was mistaken. There's a lot more work than she expected. She'd prefer to be at home reading manga and playing video games, but in addition to the A.C.D., she works as a delivery driver for Cat Express. Her deliveries often include some suspiciously weird cargo, and even though she thinks the company is shady, she doesn't care as long as she gets paid. Based on the trailer, at times she also seems to work alongside Mimiko, who seems to be a live streamer based on the previous trailer. And it looks like both of them get roped into wild situations. In one scene, they're both being chased by a huge group of student fans wearing giant Taffy masks and holding signs with Taffy's face on it that read "Forever by your side." And in another scene, we see the captain trying to hold on to Mimiko and Ringo while they hang from a speeding truck, as Taffy tries her best to catch up to them. The next character is Seymour, a highly skilled hacker that wears a mask to hide his identity. He prefers to stay hidden and out of the sunlight, working from within his RV to stay on the move. While working with the A.C.D., he provides technical and logistical support from the background. It does seem like he has his own goals though. He has some connection with a faction called Eon Bug. When it comes to gameplay, it doesn't seem like he's suited for direct combat, so he uses stealth, mechanical spiders, and drones during missions. He was shown hacking screens in the city center, and even disrupts a conference by hacking footage onto the screen. This is most likely related to a situation that takes place in his character story while he's not doing work for the A.C.D. And Richie is the last character introduced. She's a member of the NCCA police force, and she's said to be so strong that the other members fear her. She meets the captain after mistakenly arresting them, but after they're released, the captain buys her a burger and they end up becoming friends. Having her join the team was said to be a huge benefit for the A.C.D, and when playing as her, you can patrol the streets and do work as an officer. The trailer showed we can stop the public to check their identity, frisk them, do a breathalyzer or drug test, issue them with a ticket, or even arrest them. This makes it seem like we'll be able to fully fulfill the role of a police officer. There also seems to be an attitude shift when dealing with gangs. When controlling the captain, the gangs are hostile, but when playing as Richie, the trailer shows the gang members standing to attention and hiding their weapons when they see her. When each character completes tasks related to their specific professions, like Taffy's delivery jobs, or arresting criminals as Richie, they'll earn money and career experience points. This gradually increases the character's level within their profession and upgrades special skills related to it, allowing them to take on higher difficulty missions. I found it was easier to understand their approach when I thought about each playable character as if they were a separate role or class in an RPG. Rather than just having a different combat style, the characters also have a different role to play within the world, providing a different gameplay experience. Each character's career levels up separately, but you can also gain EXP by fighting chaos in the city or by taking part in various activities. Even though some of the previously revealed characters didn't appear in the recent trailers, a lot of them could still be found in the event demo, mainly through the main character's contact list on their phone. It was also mentioned that more characters will be released in the future, but they want new characters to provide players with unique gameplay experiences that fit within the city. The fact that Ananta has put a spotlight on being able to step into the role of another character and live their daily life may end up becoming one of its biggest strengths. When creating the open world, the team wanted a different feel from existing games, which tend to focus heavily on Western settings like Europe and America. The game currently takes place in Nova City, which is inspired by cities in Japan, and for their gameplay feel, they drew inspiration from titles like Persona and Yakuza, and they plan to expand their world later with more cities from various well-known locations across Asia. While viewing the map, you can track the locations for any of the available character stories, but to actually begin them, you need to switch to the designated character. In addition to these stories, it's been said that the city will also contain side stories, hidden missions, and other stories that they expect to surprise and entertain players. A lot of the content I've mentioned so far is solo focused, but a multiplayer mode is being prepared. You'll be able to create a world, select a character, and then take on high difficulty missions with friends as that character. It sounds like rather than the multiplayer taking place in our individual worlds, we'll load into a separate multiplayer version of the city. This version will likely have the main stories, character stories, and character life cycles removed and replaced with multiplayer focused content. But since the game has undergone a lot of changes, this number could increase. Based on an interview with the producer, it seems like they went the extra mile to make the world feel authentic and believable, by bringing people that work within various industries to give feedback and advice, or by having their staff actually go out and experience the kind of venues they planned on adding to the city. It was mentioned that a wide variety of buildings can be entered, including the characters' homes, which seems to have a lot of interactive features inside. It's also possible to freely run along walls and up buildings without any stamina limitations. The developers mentioned earlier in the game's development that they wanted a movement system that allowed players to travel quickly and freely without any stamina limitations, and now we've seen this firsthand at the Tokyo Game Show. It seems like you can cause a lot of havoc in the world, including harassing citizens by attacking them, or even taking their phones and reading their messages. Pedestrians have a wide variety of reactions. Some run away, some stop and put their hands up, and some might even choose to fight back. But you can also have friendly interactions like dancing, high-fiving, or taking pictures with them. During the event demo, there didn't seem to be any particular penalty for causing trouble, but I assumed this was just so people could have fun at the event. In an interview with IGN, the producer Ash mentioned that there is a reputation system for characters, and every time they do something bad, that reputation goes down, which makes things harder for them in the city. This also ties into the in-game social media system, which is said to receive updates as you progress through the story, and even contain some additional missions within posts. But if you cause trouble, you can also be exposed by people on social media, so even though we can cause trouble, there will be consequences once the game releases. The variety of activities available is pretty huge. We can take part in recreational activities like racing, and we can play basketball and challenge citizens to free throw challenges. You can also work out at the gym, but I'm not sure what the benefit is for the characters. They probably gain experience or increase specific parameters. You can take pictures and selfies, you can go to the cinema to watch movies, which will apparently be continuously updated over time. You can go skateboarding, go to clubs, attend concerts, there are power slap matches that you can join, you can play games in the arcade, do stunt jumps with your motorbikes, and you may be able to go gliding with wingsuits. You'll also be able to purchase new vehicles and customize your character's appearance. There's a wide variety of clothing that a character can wear, which is obtained by completing missions or purchased from shops. You can mix and match a character's tops, bottoms, handwear, headwear, and footwear. The ones available in the event demo could be purchased with in-game currency. But as we'll discuss shortly, there will also be premium and limited time clothing that can be purchased with real money. It was mentioned that the clothing you choose to wear can be helpful when needing to infiltrate or escape during certain missions, which gives you more choices in how you can complete the objectives. In addition to the recreational activities, there are various combat-related challenges. Heading to one of the red dots on the minimap will lead you into a skirmish, which is usually a battle against a group of enemies, or against an elite enemy that puts up more of a challenge. Successfully completing these seems to reward you with money and experience. You can also find camps scattered throughout the map that seem to be hideouts for enemy factions. The goal is to clear the camp, and it seems like you can use stealth to take down the enemies silently, or use the environment to your advantage to get rid of enemies before they can react to your presence. The combat system was designed to feel like an action movie, and it was heavily inspired by martial arts movies, specifically ones with Jackie Chan. The result is a system that revolves around countering enemies' attacks, while being able to use objects and weapons in the environment to your advantage. The combat style has evolved since the earlier versions that revolved around character switching within multi-character teams. Now it seems like each character acts independently and fights on their own. But there's still the possibility that the game will have situations where characters can fight together. All the characters seem to be able to fight, but it's been said that certain characters are better at it than others, like the Captain and Richie being more proficient than Taffy. Each character has a set of normal attacks they can use either unarmed or with character-specific weapons. The Captain can use his tendrils, Richie can use her gauntlets, and Taffy can use her Segway as a giant hammer. When a character is unarmed, they can use a variety of punches, kicks, leg sweeps, and counterattacks, which seem to have dynamic animations depending on the positioning of the character and enemies. Characters can also block and dodge enemy attacks, with counterattacks being possible when timed correctly. The timing of these actions is usually indicated by a warning marker on the enemies. I assume the white and light blue markers indicate that you need to block and counter the attack, and the red markers seem to indicate an incoming attack that can't be countered. If you dodge with perfect timing, the character performs a perfect dodge that can be followed up with a counter attack. Enemies also have a stun bar, and once it's full, the enemy will be staggered and glow red, indicating that a finishing attack can be performed. Characters also seem to have unique actions and skills depending on their weapon, like the Captain's unique actions that let them use their tendrils to latch onto enemies to perform a takedown or to leap towards distant enemies. The basic skills characters have seem to go into a short cooldown after use, but there also seems to be a special or ultimate ability that can be used after it's been fully charged during combat. During the event demo, this was only available for the Captain, so the ultimate attacks for the rest of the characters may be getting reworked, since in the past, character ultimates did seem to be a lot more flashy. In addition to character weapons, characters can use telekinesis to catch projectiles like rockets and throw them back, and they can grab environmental objects and weapons that defeated enemies have dropped, like grabbing an oil barrel and throwing it at enemies, which seems to set them on fire, giving you an opportunity to attack while they try to put it out. The weapons you pick up or buy seem to have durability, but once they've served their purpose, you can just throw them at the enemy for additional damage. There seems to be a wide range of these disposable weapons, including swords, crowbars, hammers, golf clubs, badminton rackets, rocket launchers, sniper rifles, machine guns, grenades, stun guns, and flamethrowers. This is an interesting selection that will help to keep the combat feeling dynamic and not something that revolves around switching characters and performing rotations like a lot of other open world anime games. My initial reaction to the combat in the event gameplay was that it felt a bit too slow. I was hoping for faster character animations, especially because the melee system relies heavily on countering. For a counter-based system, the enemies seemed too passive, which meant those reaction opportunities weren't happening often enough. And while I'm not expecting the general gameplay to be overly challenging, the enemies felt like they were being held back. But after reading more interviews, it was said that the event demo's difficulty was intentionally lowered to give people an easier time, since if it were too difficult, it would be too overwhelming for a showcase. They did say that they were planning to improve aspects like the pacing of the gameplay and the difficulty, so hopefully things will be more balanced at release. We also haven't been shown any of the actual character progression related systems in the game. So I'm curious if there are any systems in place that will allow us to customize or upgrade a character's movesets, their skills, or even their overall combat proficiency, like increasing their combo strings, or being able to upgrade a character's effectiveness when using certain weapons. Since Ananta is also releasing on mobile and it's an anime open world game with a lot of playable characters, it's easy to assume that it would be a gacha game. But gacha systems have never been publicly announced or shown for this game. It's actually been the opposite. Back in December last year, I mentioned that the developers wanted to keep their monetization options flexible, but they didn't want players to have to pay to win. They said that this early in the game's development, they just wanted to focus on creating an exciting game first, believing that if the quality of the game wasn't good, then the business model would be meaningless. They've since clarified their approach. They aim to satisfy players through the storyline and gameplay, believing that this organic excitement will naturally attract users and lead to revenue. This means the paid options will be cosmetic focused, ranging from clothing dyes to various vehicles. They're even planning to make houses available for purchase, provided it doesn't interfere with player freedom. According to a few publications available on WeChat, the producer of the game shared some additional information. This is what he had to say. So regarding the monetization questions everyone's curious about, yes, we designed this from the start as a purely cosmetic-based game. Freely experiencing different characters' stories and lives within this world is part of the gameplay. The essence of an urban open world is to offer a second life within the game, to create a dream that doesn't exist in reality. The producer clarified this even further in a post-TGS interview for Famitsu by saying, "We believe that if we can provide a truly great game, everyone will give back to the creators in the way they desire. Rather, what we should be concerned about is whether or not we can truly move people with this game. If we can achieve that, then we have nothing else to worry about." Also, if we had made it a character gacha format, we would have had to focus on a new character every time we held a gacha, which could have led to the presence of existing companions becoming relatively less prominent. This game aims to be designed to always shine the spotlight on all of the companions while depicting the drama of this world. So we wanted to make sure there was no difference in the number of characters players could use. It may be a bit of an exaggeration to call this game a second life, but I want players to experience the feeling of living in a big city full of fun and mysterious things. I would be very happy if players could grow attached to the characters in this world and naturally develop the desire to dress up and improve their homes and vehicles. We have prepared a wide lineup of items to meet these needs. We are planning to offer more unique and special items for which you will have to pay, but you can still enjoy customizing to your heart's content even without paying. This game features a wide variety of vehicles, including cars, motorbikes, helicopters, planes, and boats. When it comes to cars, you can first purchase a car with a design you like, then modify the tires, engine, and paint it however you like to turn it into an attaché car. Home customization wasn't implemented in the event demo version, but each character has their own home, so we want to give them a fair degree of freedom to make various renovations. These responses are as clear as can be. Each character is very unique in what they can do within the world, and they are core to the foundation of the game's story and structure, so gating the characters behind a gacha would simply ruin the experience they're trying to create. Ananta is a game I've been looking forward to for a long time. I was at Gamescom 2023 when the announcement for Project Mugen happened, and I've been watching it closely ever since. Now that it's gone through various changes and become Ananta, I'm happy to see the direction it's taken, and it's shaping up to be the kind of game I know I could sink hours into. Hopefully they'll announce a public beta soon so that more people can get their hands on the game and experience it for themselves, me included. But for now, I think they've done a good job of showcasing the game at Tokyo Game Show after years of keeping people waiting. It's still early days for Ananta, but I have to wonder how replayable this game will be and how frequent the updates will be. We know new characters are being planned, but I highly doubt they'll be released frequently because of how deeply integrated they are into the game's foundation. It's been mentioned that the focus will be on increasing the density of the main city before adding new regions to the game. So I assume updates will mostly revolve around layering new stories and content onto the existing characters and adding new gameplay systems and missions that help to flesh out the city. In an early interview, it was mentioned that they wanted to release a new city every year, but I'm not sure if that goal still applies now that the game has evolved. I haven't had a chance to play Ananta yet, so this video was purely based on research and analysis, but for everyone that wants to view all of the gameplay shown in this video, I've included all of the sources in the description. I was invited by the development team to visit them and record some footage at TGS for myself, but I couldn't make it this year. So once I arrange a time for me to go and try it for myself, I'll be able to show you a lot more. But if you want to receive some official information about the game, including possible notifications for upcoming betas, you can pre-register for the game on their official website. I'll be making some more deep dive videos for Ananta right here on this channel, and I also occasionally upload gameplay focused videos over on my gameplay channel, so don't forget to subscribe to both if you want to be the first to know when a new video is available. I'll be making some new videos very soon, but for now, here's another one that you might find interesting.